Hello. I was doing some research on Middle Earth or Hollow Earth, and it's quite interesting where I ended up. I went from the Earth being hollow and to trees that talk, um, to other types of beings, to a Earth with smaller stars and smaller planets inside of it, and then to the Vril, the coming race of the Vril. This is wild, you all. It's so wild. Let's look at this real fast. Not real fast, but a little bit fast. The hollow earth theory, the tree people, the coming race, and they explain the coming race is going to be the Vril, with the technology that was used back during what time. So where would the center of the earth be, and where would the earth be hollow as we zoom up? It's right around the Arctic area is where it's located, according to theory. And, we can't really see it on the Google Maps that well. That area is like covered up. Let's read about this theory. It's called the Symmes Monument Hollow Earth Theory. I declare the earth is hollow and habitable within, said John Cleves Symmes, in summarizing his theory of concentric spheres and solar voids to a doubting scientific world in the early 1820s. His theory is commemorated by this moment. Topped by a replica of a hollow earth, Symmes believed plant and animal life existed within the opening of hollow earth. The opening was called Symmes Hole. He actually wrote a book, Symesonia is what it is called, about his theory. And, I never even heard of this book, but it existed. The Voyage of Discovery. So we can see that right there. And you can see some little drawings that are put inside the book, which is really interesting, depicting the hollow earth. And some more. Here's the spheres that he believes shows the opening. So we have this book that was written, World Underground. It's a companion, more or less, to Symmes, how he had written. This guy put a character in it, Ludwig Holberg, and the journey of Niles' climb to the world underground. So they more or less stated that the earth is hollow, and within the shell or outward crust there is another lesser globe and another firmament adorned with lesser sun, stars, and planets. So I think this was really popular back then, but they just quit talking about it for some strange reason. Let's read some little bit more. Holberg theorized there were two entire inner worlds, one a planet inhabited by intelligent trees, the other the underside of the Earth's crust as vast as the outer crust on which we live and populated with a fantastic variety of intelligent life forms. So he says that there's like two entire inner worlds within. So that's really interesting. And, let's look at this this little picture that they've drawn. So you can see at the top you got the North Pole. And then down there at the bottom you got the South Pole. And inside there is even more land, more worlds where there's actually beings that live in. And some say this could be, AGARTTHA. See, a journey into hollow earth, the kingdom of AGARTTHA. There's got to be some truth to this. There really does. Otherwise, why would they try to hush and all of that kind of stuff? There's got to be truth. We're not the only beings. So this is a depiction of the tree people. It says, on the central planet, Clem, the character, discovers a happy and prosperous utopian land of intelligent mobile trees. And in his subsequent travels around the planet, he encounters bizarre varieties of intelligent trees, and each species forms a separate social grouping. So, that's really exciting, and it's really interesting. I believe that the trees probably are there, and they do speak. And here's another picture showing the tree people, and I guess they're talking about they're dead, because trees die too, and, it is sad. It's interesting, looking at these pictures because I'm sure they probably did go. If there's a hole in the earth, and there probably is some truth to it. Probably a lot of truth. And they don't want us to know. They really don't. Let's look at this. So Niels Klem's Underground Travels, that's the character. There's this picture of this citizen of Martina with a wig. Okay. Well, I guess there could be beings in there. You know, we got hieroglyphs with lizard people. So look, Jules Verne, the 19th century French author, is filmed for such a revolutionary science fiction novel as Around the World in 80 Days and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. He also wrote a book about the hollow earth. And in his book, you're going in through the center of the volcano, going down to the inside of the earth. Look, this is interesting. Edmund Halley, you know, Halley's Comet, he proposed the earth was hollow. He said that seemingly solid earth is actually a shell about 500 miles thick, containing 3 smaller concentric spheres, and each sphere separated by the others by about 500 miles of atmosphere. Isn't that interesting? I did not know that about him. Now this is how I got on the Vril. They found them in the middle of the earth, in the hollow earth. Vril, the power of the coming race. Vril, the power of the coming race. All these books, they wrote about them. Vril, the power of the coming race. So look at all this, you all. They're supposed to be in the middle earth. Actually, there were some authors that had written about the hollow earth. And I thought, really? And it was way back then, you know, when all of this was being talked about. There was a lot of books that were written. I've got a few books on here. The Coming Race by Edward Bowyer. The Coming Race, and it was the V, and I didn't know about it. Look at this book. It depicts them having wings. I heard that their wings were mechanical. So look at this, The Coming Race. There's actually a PDF, online thing that you can read. Look at that. Introduction to the Journey, Descent into the Underworld, The World Without a Sun, and then it talks about Return to the Surface World, you all. So if you didn't know that they're the Vril, they call the Vril, yeah. Actually, I think the women were the dominant ones there too. But they also had a religion, a deity that they worshipped. Look, the Coming Race, this people have a religion, and whatever may be said against it, at least it has these strange peculiarities. Firstly, that they all believe in the creed they profess. Secondly, that they all practice the precepts which the creed inculcates. They unite in the worship of the one divine creator and sustainer of the universe. They believe that it is one of the properties of the all-permeating agency of Vril to transmit to the wellspring of life and intelligence every thought that a living creature can conceive. And though they do not contend the idea of a deity is innate, yet they say that the they're talking about the here, which is man, is the only creature, so far as their observation of nature extends, to whom the capacity of conceiving that idea with all the trains of thoughts which can open out from it is vouchsafed. So that's really interesting, you all. So they find that prayer and thanksgiving are acceptable to the divine creator and necessary to the complete development of the human creature. Wow, you all. That's really interesting. This person says, I was not admitted into the building or temple in which the public worship is rendered, but I am informed that the service is exceedingly short and unattended with any pomp or ceremony. Look, it is a doctrine with the Vril, that earnest devotion or complete abstraction from the actual world cannot, with benefit to itself, be maintained long at a stretch by the human mind, especially in public. So they pray in private. There was something else interesting. It led me to this. The Vril, this is, when the UFOs were supposed to be made. The Vril in this time making the UFAs during the last World War, they only wanted to develop this spaceship to reach Aldebaran in the Taurus constellation, which was 64 light years from Earth. Well, guess what? They didn't get to go there. You know that. So they say that they went into the inner Earth, the hollow Earth. I thought this was interesting. There's a company called the Vril. In the digital age, the real science of electricity has been lost. Isn't that really interesting? There's a company called the Vril. So yeah, there's so much going on, you all. So I think there is something to the hollow earth, the tree people, and the coming race of the Vril. I really do. I want to thank you for taking time to watch and listen to this video, because I do believe that there is a little bit of truth in everything. And you may not agree with this, and you don't have to agree with it, but I find it quite interesting that the hollow earth was written about a long time ago, and they spoke about beings inside the earth, and then they spoke about the race of Vril, and they wrote a book about it coming to the surface. So with that being said, hello wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours. Love you.